What is up, YouTube? This is Dave Croft. I'm doing something new this year for 2021. I am committing to a weekly vlog, right? Where I kind of recap the week before and kind of hopefully take you kind of on my journey of writing music all year long. This is a little bit in conjunction with the Facebook group that I moderate over at Facebook, 52Qs. You can get there by going to 52qs.com. And the idea is that this isn't really some slick production or anything, but just kind of an overview of last week, maybe some things that I learned. And I got to tell you, I'm learning lessons even moments before I went to go record this very video. Last year was a struggle for everybody. Obviously, with COVID and everything, my royalties were way down, and it's a little scary. But I have confidence that that the industry is going to pull through, and the universe is going to take care of me. So I'm not super scared. But it was really busy. I had a couple of really big contracts where I was producing a lot of music. And so it forced me to, I had to write, last year I had to write at least 2 Qs every week. And I averaged 2.5 Qs. I wrote 133 Qs last year for 2020, and I averaged 2.5 Qs per week. And I want to beat that this year. I want to average 3 Qs per week. And week one, last week, I was kind of already off to a good start, but off to a good start, and so I feel really good about this. And one of the cues that I wrote, this cue called A Clean Conscience, is for an album that I'm working on for a publisher called Intrigue with Hope. And here is the lesson that I learned. Just like it just goes to show you kind of however far you get in this industry, however much experience you have, no matter how many miles you have on your engine, that you could still pull boneheaded rookie mistakes. Now, if you notice this session, it's not ordered properly. It's not even like if I were to pull open the mixer, it's not mixed and all of this. Why is that? Am I just lazy? No, it's because I pulled up the mix and master here. The mix and master session, I did my cut down, my 30-second cut down in the mix and master session without creating a new alternative for it, which I hammer my students on. I completely hammer my students on making sure that you are creating alternatives, that you don't do this very, very, very same thing. And so you notice this is all well and good, and it's colored appropriately and organized. If we were to look at the mixer, everything is in place. Of course, these are stacks. I've got my mastering chain, and it's all looking well and good. And so I have this 30-second cut down, which means that, if the publisher needs changes or edits or whatever, that I'm gonna have to go in and basically re-import all these mixed sessions, not sessions, all these mixed tracks, with the EQs and everything. I'm gonna have to, bottom line, it's gonna take a lot of work to get us back to this state. So I think it's appropriate. I think it's appropriate that this is kind of how it goes and how 2021 will start. I love the fact that the last cue that I delivered on a really big project, 15 cues that were all this kind of vibe, this Intrigue with Hope is what the publisher was calling it. It's a very Thomas Newman-esque kind of thing, which he's my hero. So yeah, I'm way on board with writing 15 of those types of cues. But it's called A Clean Conscience, and it was the last track that was delivered, and I enjoyed writing it. Let me pull up this isn't going to be a real deep dive, and like I said, I'm really kind of embarrassed that I don't have the final mix of the actual track for you. But it's an Intrigue with Hope, Hope Q, and it's the idea came from this piano motif and I love large leaps and large intervallic leaps, and I think that has to do with me being a percussionist, and I'm always thinking kind of right left and the interaction between the two hands, and so everything kind of has this relationship to it, and the nugget for this cue started with this piano, and it was very much kind of out of time. How am I going to work this out? And so kind of retconning this super flowy improvisational piano line and putting it into tempo and still maintain that was a real challenge. So nice and slow, with some high strings kind of holding out. I've been really getting into playing a lot more guitar lately, and acoustic guitar, electronic or electric guitar, it's really tough to pull off with MIDI. So I went and got a baby Taylor, a big baby Taylor, and have committed for the last several months just to really get into learning it, some basic finger picking style, some open D tuning, and that kind of thing. So you can hear these kind of chord pads in the background, and the miking technique on the guitar is I have a single mic, this mic here, that I've put a sample delay on so it's nice and wide. And then I used I don't think I have it up here, a Dean Markley pickup, like it's it's this guy right here. This is probably going on 30 years old, this pickup, 20, maybe 25, 30 years old. It's essentially a single coil in a block of wood that sits in the sound hole. And it live, it sounds really good. Recorded, it kind of sounds like hot garbage, if you're asking. It's really not that great. But when you mix the two together, it creates a really nice, full sound. Yeah, and so the form is the basic kind of motif, and then repeat the motif with this call and response between some woodwinds. And again, this isn't really the final mix, because I destroyed the final mix on accident. And when I first did this B section, the strings were really big, and that's what's going on here. That's why I have these string parts muted, is because it was just, and even these are pulled down. It was like, is this an epic cue? No, it's just this really sensitive kind of. There's a little bit of drive to it, but not too much. No, this is the final arrangement, just not the final mix. This is the Cinebrass. This is Vienna Symphonic, Library Special Edition, oboe. The piano here, if you're curious, is my go-to piano, the Grandeur. Grandeur with the velocities way down. Tundra Strings by Spitfire, BBC Symphony Orchestra. And I wanted it to feel like a retard here at the end, but I didn't want to actually get into to automating the tempo or anything. So I just put a 9/8 bar. If you listen to the click, so we have 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, and so I'm guessing if you were actually in a recording studio, recording this with live players, you can do a retard. Or if you really wanted to like lock it into a click, this is how I would solve that problem. So that is one of the three cues that I put together for week one of 2021, and the lesson that I'm learning is it's you're never too far into the game to make rookie mistakes, and that's okay. It just happens, and I hope that transparency and authenticity is encouraging to you out there. If you're watching this and you're new to this industry, maybe you're new to composition, and it just happens. It just happens sometimes. So that was my week one in a nutshell. I will be joining you again next week. And like I said, I'm committing to this. Just a quick, brief vlog, if you will, even though that word, I feel goofy saying that word, but nothing really produced, nothing really shiny. But if you like what I do, here comes all the YouTube business. If you like it, then maybe hit that subscribe, smash that notification bell. I can't even say that with a straight face. But thank you very much for hanging out with me this morning, and I wish you a fantastic week two. And let me know what you're writing. You can join us over at 52cues.com. That's our Facebook group, or put a comment down below and share what you're writing. And let's all be in this together. Until next time, peace.